I'm Heather.
And I'm Haley.
And we're the Dunnit Sisters. While covering Justin Siwek's case, and we were interviewing his Aunt Mindy, we learned about the death of Justin's brother, Cody.
And Justin was still pushing and searching, and as we all were, because we didn't know 8 years ago what exactly happened. He was pushing still 8 years later for who had killed my nephew, my first nephew, Cody Michael.
Is Cody's homicide unsolved, or is that solved?
Yes.
That's unsolved also.
Yes.
So Justin's brother, Cody, disappeared Father's Day weekend 2013, 8 years prior to Justin's. So it's just kind of interesting that it happened around the same time, but 8 years apart.
Yeah, a couple days, right?
Yeah, just within a couple
That's-
days,
yeah.
right? It's just kind of weird. Okay, so according to the police report, a person was supposed to pick up Cody at the Great Western Motel in Independence, Missouri, and drive him to a place on Lamar in Kansas, because Cody wanted to sell a gun.
Okay.
And with the money, he was going to buy some meth.
Okay.
Now, and that's allegedly what happened. 4 days later, Cody's body was found 3 miles upstream from a boat ramp in Sugar Creek, Missouri.
He was found 8 years ago, almost to the day that Justin was dead, on a bank in Sugar Creek, 6 feet under in the mud, dead. And they were called there for another body, a jumper off the bridge that morning.
Right.
And so a fisherman found that body, and supposedly when they went there to get that body, they saw Cody across the river in the mud, and they dug him out. The funny thing is that the lead detective on Justin's case is the same person that was the officer 8 years ago that found the body of Cody and reported it. His body was beat to unrecognizable.
They have to ID him. They ID him by a tattoo. They ID him, and they do end up getting fingerprints, but he was not recognizable.
So he was in the water.
He was on the water, yes. Okay, so the police investigation.
Wait,
What?
there really was an investigation? Oh, okay, go ahead.
So, police investigation is a detective going through Cody's Facebook. He goes through his Facebook, and he finds, and this is in quote because this is in the police report, they find dismal Facebook posts, okay, such as this, quote, "I'm out here living my life right now, all alone by myself." Okay. So, and then there were like other ones, but that was an example. They were somewhat kind of like that, okay? So I don't understand if the investigators were trying to insinuate that he was going to commit suicide, because he had a gun and he sold the gun. So I would think, if you're going to, commit suicide, maybe not sell the gun. He could have just used the gun. Because I was also looking at Cody's Facebook page, and before that dismal post, he did this post, quote, "Job applications are stupid. Why do you want to work for us?" Like the company. "Why would you want to work for us?" "Oh, because I've always had a passion for frozen yogurt. Motherfucker, I'm broke." So
They said that?
yeah, so you wrote that.
Oh.
So I was like, huh. So if I'm a detective, does that mean I think he's going to go rob someone? My point being is that he's a young kid.
Right.
And don't be sitting here thinking, oh, I'm looking on your Facebook. I'm so sly.
Right. After looking at his Facebook, the first thing that this detective tried to say to me was, well, it seems like he was suicidal. And I said, why? Because of the poems, the songs? No, he wasn't suicidal. I can guarantee you he was not suicidal. They let that go because I was adamant about it.
Imagine going through ours
Well,
10 years ago.
All I'm thinking is, did they track down the person that bought the gun? I mean, you would.
I don't know anything about the person who bought the gun.
But compared to the other cases, probably not. Because what is it? What do they decide it was?
Okay, so preliminary autopsy report, possible drowning. Then they waited on toxicology. Toxicology says that it was methamphetamines, and so they called it intoxication. So intoxication and drowning. So we're to assume that he went to this creek, got high, fell, and drowned in a river.
I'd love to see the autopsy report.
Right.
But I guess they're thinking it's enough. Oh, I'm depressed, meth, and then like drown.
Again, but he wasn't, someone had to have taken him there. First, Mindy said there was no water in his lungs. And as we know from, again, sissies, I mean,
Man, I want to see the autopsy report.
I want to see it, yes.
Because it sounds like they just wanted. But anyway, it sounds like to me they just wanted to say case closed.
Oh, it was instantly case closed because it kept saying open until they had all that, and so now it's case closed. So again, this is not a murder case, and I know that we do murder or missing, but the reason I'm bringing this up is because Mindy said that, of course, the family's always been troubled by Cody's death. She said that Justin was looking into Cody's death.
We were told nothing. We were told that it was just an accident. Maybe he killed himself. Maybe this, maybe that. Although the autopsy showed different. And we always knew that there was a dark car that pulled up and got him, and that he went somewhere. On the autopsy, there was a needle mark on his neck. There was an extreme amount of methamphetamine that he never had in his system, and
So not homicide, is it undetermined drowning?
undetermined.
So there's no homicide investigation going on with Cody?
They did nothing.
Yeah, okay,
He was missing fingers that were cut off exactly.
sure.
Okay, not fish eaten. He was missing an eyeball. My ex-father-in-law worked for Amos Family Funeral Home, so he went and got the body for us. He went 3 times. It was so inflated with seepage that he had to keep coming back, but he said that he was unrecognizable and that there was no way that the river had done to him what he saw. And we let it go. That was it. Because we didn't know. We actually did not understand what was happening.
So he went to this river by himself, shot it, and then
Right.
and
drank a
passed
can of
out,
beer.
and then drowned.
Mindy also said that the needle mark was at the base of his neck, and that is not the typical injection site that Cody would use. He wouldn't.
Also, why would you put it in the back of your neck?
She said the base of his neck.
But like here?
She was pointing when she was talking. She pointed
Because
here.
you wouldn't. I don't think. Yeah.
Well, no. I mean,
So I mean, obviously, this isn't a suicide.
definitely not a suicide. Now, police did talk to a friend of his.
Oh my God. So not only was there an investigation, but they actually talked to people.
Just stop!
I can't help it.
Okay, so
Okay.
this friend said that Cody had been depressed lately because a close friend of his had just OD'd.
Oh.
And so she thinks, this is according to her, she thinks Cody got high with friends, OD'd, they freaked out and disposed of his body.
And if anything,
That's what they're
if
guessing.
anything, if I was one of his friends or something, I would be like, maybe he did get high and then was just walking and then somehow fell into
tripped and fell into the creek, and they're like,
because I would not.
but he still had to drown, so that means he wasn't dead. So he just fell into the creek.
Oh,
and they're
yeah,
like,
because there's no
see
water
ya,
in the lungs.
sucker. I mean,
So if there's no water in the lungs, then how did he die? I mean, but they really said drowning?
they said drowning. No, it's just shady. So I just wanted to bring up the Cody's case just because it's just a bit out there and odd. Although I don't really have anything else to add to it. So I definitely don't have any whodunits because I'm not insinuating that he was murdered. I'm just saying it's just very weird. Very
Kind of.
just
I mean,
odd. There's just a
yeah.
lot of questions. And
things don't really add up. I guess without been seeing the autopsy report, it's really hard to.
When they found him, my sister and I went to Independence. On our way to Independence to see him, they called us and said that we could not come there, that his body was too decontaminated from the river. He was in there 2 days. And so they cremated him, and we never saw him. We never saw a picture. A year later, after the body was found, we went and met with the FBI in Sugar Creek, Missouri. And they told us the files were missing and that there was nothing they could do. And every question I asked them, they left and went behind a glass mirror and talked to somebody and then came out and talked to us. And after about the third or fourth question, I stood up and said, this is over. You guys are faulty. I've been to Topeka. The file's not there. There's something missing. What is going on? And no answers for us. The files are still gone. The pictures are still gone. Nothing has ever been answered. The most we've ever found out is from the lady Shay in Wichita that found the original reports. None of it makes sense. We were lied to completely. The only thing that I have to connect in my mind is the fact that there was an officer at that time that found the body accidentally. And then 8 years later, he is the lead detective on my next nephew that was searching for his brother's killers that now is dead.
That's Justin's brother.
Yes.
What was the cause of death for Cody?
They said the methamphetamine, and they also said drowning.
Yeah, drowning.
But there was no water in his lungs, and he was 6 foot under in the mud when they found him. So they did try to play it as something else, and we knew it wasn't that. We knew it wasn't that, mostly also because of him, and also because of the 2 people that he was at the river with. A girl and a guy that he knew well, that he left a party with, that said there was a black car that looked like an undercover car that pulled up for him, that he went into, and there was a guy in the back seat and there was a guy in the front. And that was the last time he was seen.
So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel. If you have any theories or suggestions, please leave it in a comment or email us. Thank you very much.
Thanks again.